What's up, everybody? I'm Brad. Welcome to Sports Magazine Collector. Today, I'm going to share with you the best Sports Illustrated covers from the 1990s that just missed out on my top 40 list. All right, guys, so if you've seen my other videos, you know I've already done countdowns for the top Sports Illustrated covers of the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and now here come the 90s. My top 40 list will be coming out really soon, but first I felt like I needed to share the best Sports Illustrated covers that just missed out on the countdown and still deserve what I feel is an honorable mention. So here we go. We've got about 30. We're going to go through them pretty rapid fire. All right, Manny Ramirez, first cover 1996. Really great baseball player. Unfortunately, a little bit tainted by PEDs. But this is a cool cover, Ready to Rock. This reminds me of the Drew Carey show. Remember that intro, Cleveland Rocks? I don't know, you've got the Cleveland Indians ready to rock. I don't know why, but that's what it makes me think of. So this one just missed out on the list. Next up, David Robinson. This is not his first Sports Illustrated cover. He was featured on one in college with Navy, but this is his first pro cover with the San Antonio Spurs. Here's to you, Mr. Robinson. How about that Simon and Garfunkel reference right there? Here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Sorry, not a great singer, but sensational San Antonio rookie David Robinson. Really cool cover here from 1990. Next up, Thurman Thomas, Hall of Fame running back from the Buffalo Bills. This is his first cover from 1992, says Super Bills. They went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Unfortunately, they lost them all, but this is still a cool cover. Next up, Sandy Koufax. This was way after his playing days, but you just can't go wrong with Sandy Koufax. He's such an awesome pitcher, so dominant back in the 60s. And look at this beautiful cover. It's from 1999. It's actually his 5th Sports Illustrated cover, the incomparable and mysterious Sandy Koufax. I just think it's a beautiful image. Love that shot there of Sandy Koufax. Next up, this issue is really cool. Shannon Sharpe, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. This is his first and only Sports Illustrated cover from 1999. It's a Super Bowl preview. And look at him shooting those guns right there. The sharpshooter, great play on words. Really cool photo. What's the best sports year ever? Asked this cover from 1998. It's got Muhammad Ali. It's got Babe Ruth. It's got Michael Jordan. Kind of a random cover, but 3 of the all-time greatest athletes. Honestly, if you did a ranking or countdown of the 5 greatest American athletes of all time, very likely that these 3 would be in that top 5 list. So for that reason alone, this cover is an honorable mention. All right, this is probably one of my favorite all-time covers. Just, if you're ignoring the athlete and if you're ignoring the significance of whether it's a first cover or whatever, just as far as like the photo and the setting, this cover is so cool. NBA Confidential, and you've got Grant Hill looking like he's freaking Sherlock Holmes popping out of a sewer with his flashlight. They got the detective hat. Secrets of the Basketball Underground. I just think this one's really cool, and to me, this one deserved an honorable mention. Next up, Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal. This is actually the 3rd cover for Shaquille O'Neal. It says Battle of the Titans, Michael versus Shaq. This is from 1995, so this was actually right after Michael Jordan had come back out of his first retirement from playing baseball, and the Bulls were in the playoffs, and the Magic actually won this series. So a lot of people forget that. The Bulls won 3 in a row in the early 90s. Michael left for a full season, and then he left for most of that second season, but he did come back later in the year and then was there for their playoff run, and they actually lost to the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals. You can see in this cover, kind of interesting, Michael's wearing his number 23 jersey. Now, if you remember, Michael did return wearing a number 45 jersey, and he actually started this series, this Eastern Conference Finals, still wearing that 45 jersey. But after a couple of not so great games, Nick Anderson, who was a really good player for the Orlando Magic, he actually said in a post game, he said, number 45 ain't number 23. And Michael then decided the very next game to switch back to his number 23 jersey to show them that he still had it. And he did still have it, but the Magic got the best of him that time, even though they did go on to get swept by Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets the following series in the NBA Finals. So really cool cover showing 2 of the all-time greats, Shaq versus Michael. Ken Griffey Jr., 1995. This is his 5th Sports Illustrated cover, and it says Yankee Killer. There probably wasn't anyone cooler than Ken Griffey Jr. in the 1990s. I mean, just his sweet swing, which you've got his follow through right here. You know, he would wear the backwards cap. Just amazing catches out there, home run after home run. The dude was awesome, still is awesome. You know, huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan here. So this is to me one of his best looking covers. Got to give him a shout out on the honorable mentions. Peyton Manning, Gator Bait again. This is his second Sports Illustrated cover. This is from 1997. Now, one could say, hey, this is putting the sheriff in a negative light, saying, hey, he's Gator Bait again. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but also he's got a freaking alligator in a chokehold. That's pretty cool. Also, the cover, it's like claymation. It kind of reminds me of that show from MTV, Celebrity Deathmatch. You guys remember that show? That show was hilarious. Would pit these celebrities against each other in claymation in a boxing ring, and just is pretty funny. So anyway, yeah, this is a really cool cover here. And by the way, did you guys know that Peyton Manning in his freshman year at Tennessee was briefly the backup to Todd Helton? Yes, that Todd Helton, multi-time MLB All-Star who's coming up on the MLB Hall of Fame ballot, has a chance to make the Hall of Fame. He was a quarterback at the University of Tennessee, and he was actually ahead of Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning's freshman year, and then Helton got hurt. Peyton Manning took over, rest is history. But this is a cool one. Had to put it on the list. Next up, Joe Montana. Joe knows Super Bowls. Of course, Joe knows Super Bowls. He won 4. He went 4-0 in the Super Bowl. He was the greatest quarterback of all time until Tom Brady went crazy and won all of his Super Bowls. This is from 1990. This is his 5th Sports Illustrated cover. And who knew that Joe Montana had those hops? That's got to be the highest Montana ever got in his career. I mean, he's skying up there, almost looked like he's doing a little toe tap. But love that image. Gotta love Joe Montana. This is a really great cover. Next up, the Incredible Hull. This is Brett Hull. This is his very first Sports Illustrated cover from 1991, pictured there with the St. Louis Blues. Jerome Bettis, Fatbacks, first cover from 1997. Remember the 90s when people would use the word fat with a PH and that meant cool? There was that one song, She Likes Me for Me, not because I'm fat like Cindy Crawford. Jerome Bettis looking pretty fat right here in more ways than one. He was a really unique running back. What's interesting to me is it says fatbacks. They're big, they're bad, they're tearing up the NFL. I can't remember that many running backs like Jerome Bettis. I mean, the dude was like a bus. I mean, well, yeah, he literally was. That was his nickname, the bus. You know, there were a lot of running backs his size that were doing the things that he did. You know, I think of Mike Allstott from that period, but he was a fullback. So anyway, I think this is a pretty cool cover. Jerome Bettis' very first one from 1997. Next up, John Smoltz, Hall of Fame pitcher. This is his first cover. This is from 1992. This might be the only Sports Illustrated cover that's going should be horizontal, but on the vertical cover. Off the top of my head, it's the only one that I know of. So kind of unique and really cool shot there of Smoltz at the plate with the umpire in the World Series. All right, here we have Muhammad Ali. This is a modern Muhammad Ali. Usually the modern covers of athletes way after their playing days are not all that collectible, but this is Muhammad Ali. He's the greatest, and this photo is awesome. I actually have a poster of this photo in my man cave, and really this photo and the fact that it's Muhammad Ali is the only reason that I threw this on the honorable mention list, because it's just an awesome picture. And this is the greatest sports photos cover from 1999, standing there over Sonny Liston, and just awesome, iconic. 1991, we have Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris. This is actually the only time that these two sluggers appeared on the cover together. You would think that maybe in 1961, that historic year, that they would have been featured on one together, but they were not. So yeah, this is kind of cool. It says whatever happened to the Yankees. This was when the Yankees were going through a little bit of a slump. And so Mantle and Maris finally got their moment together on the cover. Next up, 1991, Kirby Puckett. This is his first solo cover. He was on another cover, but this is the first time where he is prominently displayed. And that other cover was actually, it was like a What Are They Making cover. Had a whole bunch of people on the cover and with small photos, and the issue listed all of their salaries. But this is all Kirby Puckett right here. Twins peak. Kirby Puckett leads Minnesota to the American League pinnacle. Where have you gone, Joe Dimaggio? Who would have thought on a Sports Illustrated video that we're going to have 2 Simon and Garfunkel references, But here we are. Where have you gone, Joe Dimaggio? This is from 1993. How about this little factoid? This is Joe Dimaggio's first Sports Illustrated cover. All right, now he was on a Sports Illustrated cover from, I think it was 1949, but that was before Sports Illustrated became Sports Illustrated. That was actually a totally different owner and publisher. That was a different brand. The Sports Illustrated that we know and love today and that made this cover right here actually bought out the name Sports Illustrated from that previous publication. So they're not even considered the same publication at all. And also, if you ever run into that old Joe Dimaggio cover out in the wild that says Sports Illustrated from, like I said, I think 1949, be careful. Just know that it's actually oversized and it's not within the grading dimensions of CGC. So you could not even get that issue graded. So this is actually the first Sports Illustrated cover for Joe Dimaggio all the way in 1993. That's a pretty cool photo. And yeah, love the headline, "Where have you gone, Joe Dimaggio?" Emmitt Smith, first pro cover, 1993. He was on some previous covers in his Florida Gators uniform, but neither of those times was he the only person on there. And so this is the first time that he gets the feature. It's also the first time he's in his Cowboys uniform. And man, he's really underrated. The all-time leading rusher in NFL history doesn't get much love in the collecting hobbies for whatever reason, but this is a very cool issue. Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr. I think this cover is awesome. Cal Ripken was he's just a cool dude. I mean, and he truly was the Iron Man. Obviously has the record for most consecutive games played in MLB history. This is his fifth cover. This is from 1995. 1994, Bill Clinton, first cover, only cover. Woo, Pwcc. President Clinton is high on his hogs. Obviously, we know he's from Arkansas. He's got an Arkansas basketball windbreaker on in this cover. And this issue is actually this is the second president ever, the second acting president ever to be on a Sports Illustrated cover. Ronald Reagan actually was on 2 Sports Illustrated covers during his presidency. And then you had Bill Clinton here on the cover during his presidency. Although he's the 4th president to be on the cover, there were 2 other presidents who were on there, just not during their presidency. It was actually before each of them got elected, and that was John F. Kennedy, and that was Gerald Ford. So pretty cool, unique issue here just to have a president on the cover. This cover, if it were not for PED ties, would be really, really ranked high. It's not only Alex Rodriguez's first cover, it's also Derek Jeter's second cover. But unfortunately, Alex Rodriguez just is not as collectible due to the PED allegations. As of now, has still been left out of the Hall of Fame, but still 2 really, successful and really good baseball players here, 2 Yankees legends. Obviously, A-Rod went on to play a good portion of his career with the Yankees, and this is from 1997. Next up, The Last Stand. We got Michael Jordan. We got Scottie Pippen. This is from 1998. This is actually Scottie Pippen's second cover. You know what's kind of sad is Scottie Pippen was on 4 Sports Illustrated covers. The first 3 all also had Michael. Scottie's only been on 1 cover by himself, and it wasn't even with the Bulls. Do you know what team it was with? No, it wasn't the Trailblazers either. He was on 1 Sports Illustrated cover by himself with the Houston Rockets. So you may forget, Scottie actually played 1 season with the Houston Rockets. It was in that strike-shortened season, 1998. He actually only played 50 games with the Rockets, and then he went on to have a little bit of success with the Trailblazers. But anyway, The Last Stand. This is obviously from 1998, and Michael Jordan, about to win his final of his 6 championships. Wouldn't this be cool if the headline actually said The Last Dance, now that documentary's come out and we know that Phil Jackson kind of referred to that season as The Last Dance? That would have been really cool. But this is still, to me, a really neat issue because we know what it stands for, and we know, what kind of moment in time this was as far as that Bulls dynasty and where Michael Jordan was in his career. 1991, Magic. Enough said. I mean, it's just got his name there on the cover, and it's a beautiful shot. Kind of reminds me of his rookie year, I believe it was, when he filled in for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at center because Kareem was injured for that game in the finals, and Magic had that really famous hook shot that he made. Obviously, this is way later, but it's just a really beautiful cover and a really beautiful image of one of the greatest basketball players of all time. All right, here we have Mariano Rivera's very first Sports Illustrated cover. Can you believe that Mariano Rivera is the first person in the history of baseball to be unanimously voted into the Hall of Fame? That is crazy. Now, not saying he didn't deserve it, because he did, but there were a lot of other people before him that deserved it too. Writers were just always weird about not putting people on in their first ballot appearance. But anyway, kind of a cool little tidbit fact about Mariano Rivera, greatest closer of all time. This is from 1998. He's also got Derek Jeter and Jorge Posada there on the cover with him, so this one deserves a mention. All right, we got another Michael Jordan. It's Super Michael, or is it? So this was actually the first Sports Illustrated cover that Michael Jordan was on after he announced that he was returning back to basketball after that stint playing baseball. You can even see there's the little White Sox cap being flung off to the side, and Michael's ripping off his baseball jersey to show the Bulls number 23. Now, Sports Illustrated must not have known that he was actually going to come back with a different number, with number 45. Because actually this very next one on our list, you can see right here, he did come back with jersey number 45. And so this is actually Reggie Miller's first Sports Illustrated cover as well, only time he appeared on a weekly issue. And you've got the headline there, "I'm back." Michael Jordan famously put out the press release whenever he announced that he was coming back to basketball, and literally all the press release said was, "I'm back." So both of those issues from Michael's return are very cool. Love this issue. Tiger Woods, Killer Instinct with an actual tiger on the cover. How cool is that? You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of the Tiger King, that documentary that everybody was watching a few years ago. We need to get a Sports Illustrated cover with the Tiger King on there. How about Tiger Woods and the Tiger King and this tiger? That would be pretty cool. But this one looks really neat. This is his 5th cover. This is from 1998. Grant Hill, really successful college player, also had a great NBA career, although it was kind of shortened a little bit by a lot of injuries, but he's in the Hall of Fame, and this is a pretty neat cover. Wish granted, Duke finally wins the NCAAs with help from freshman Grant Hill. This is from 1991. The Chief, Robert Parrish. This is his first solo cover. I just think this is a really cool cover. Robert Parrish was a key player on some of those Celtics championship teams. He's a Hall of Famer. He's actually played the most NBA games in history of any NBA player of all time. And here we have Terrell Davis, Hall of Fame running back for the Denver Broncos. This is his first cover. This is from 1998. Story back run. Terrell Davis's remarkable rise to NFL stardom. He was a part of those back-to-back Super Bowl championships with John Elway and the Broncos. And in one of those Super Bowls, Terrell Davis won the Super Bowl MVP. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope this gets you excited for that top 40 1990s countdown that will be coming out soon. I always appreciate likes, comments, subscribes, and until the next video, see you guys next time.